Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Megan. If you guys have not been here before, thank you so much for coming. I'm so excited to make this video and share with you guys all of my tips on how to set your prices if you are a graphic designer. So I first off want to say this is probably one of the hardest things when you are starting your own business because it's definitely a mental battle trying to figure out what you're worth versus what your competition is charging and all of the above. So I first off want to give you the tip that you need to know your value. I think that a lot of times people think graphic design or art or creating a logo is an easy job, but as you probably know, it's definitely not, and it takes a lot more time than people think it does. Really know your value and to know what you're bringing to the table, because not everybody has the eye to create what you're creating, and not everyone has the skills behind it to create it. And I think that sometimes that can be underplayed, but if you know your worth, then you will always be able to get paid what you are worth and you'll never feel disappointed. Don't ever let any client come to you and talk you down, because if they're doing that, then the price means a lot more to them than the work. So just keep that in mind and know exactly what you're worth. Know that designing takes years and years to get really good at, and that you have the programs, you have the tools, and you have the eye and the vision to create what they need. And that is something that not everybody has and not everyone can offer. So really make sure that you keep that in the back of your head when you're creating your pricing. So my second tip is to ask yourself what sets you apart. I know that every single designer has their own little style, and that is something that I find so fascinating and so awesome. That is something that you should really hold on to and cherish, because your style could set you apart from so many other designers. So I would ask yourself, what are my strengths? What sets me apart from anyone else? And it could even be as small as I'm quick, I reply to emails fast, I'm always there when you need me, I do multiple revisions. It could be so many different things, but if you really nail down what it is that makes you amazing at what you're doing, and then really highlight those in your emails and your communication with your client, then they'll really want to work with you and they'll understand why you're charging what you're charging. So for me, for example, I would say my strengths are that I do very custom logos, and I have a really good eye for figuring out what fonts work the best for your brand. But not only that, I do about 3 to 4 revisions for logos, which is quite a lot because I know some designers only do 2. Some only offer 1 revision, so I really make sure to let them know that I want them really happy, and I will create up to 4 edits to make sure that we perfect the logo or whatever it is that I'm designing for them. I also make sure to tell them that I have 6 years of experience and I know how to really nail down your vision within the first concepts. So I always highlight that. But one thing that I'm very prideful in, and that I really like to tell my clients and show them, is that I communicate everything. If there is a day where I might be out of the office, or if I feel like I need a little bit of extra time, I communicate everything. And I think that clients respect this so much, because if you are open and honest with them, then you will create a relationship that can last a long time. And all the clients I have that I had continuous work with, we had this kind of communication style where it was very open and honest, and if they gave me like a website task to do and I didn't fully understand how to do it, I was very honest with them that it might take me a little bit of time to figure it out, but that I will figure it out for them. So I would say try not to lie. I know that sometimes fake it till you make it gets you there, but I would say if you're honest and open and tell them how long it's going to take you exactly to create something, they will absolutely respect that and want to work with you moving forward. So my next tip is to determine whether you want to do fixed price or an hourly price. I definitely feel like this is an important topic to touch on because either way, you need to be able to know how long something's going to take you to do. So I typically charge a fixed price because I've been designing for so long that I know that a logo will take me 4 to 5 hours. I know a website will take me 10 plus hours. So I really have like a mental note of how long things will take me. However, you should always have an hourly rate, because on my contract I always state that this is the fixed price, and if it goes over the amount of estimated hours, then I will have to charge my hourly rate, and I will communicate that. So I definitely think it's important to have both mentally noted or on your contract, and make sure that if you are charging a fixed price, that estimated hour that created that fixed price doesn't go over that. To value your time so much, and if you start getting in this trap of doing a fixed price project, but then it takes 5+ hours above that fixed price, and you're just doing free work at that time, you're gonna end up feeling a little bit disappointed and burned out, to be honest, because every single hour you're putting in should be paid for, and you are worth it. So I just want to be your reminder for that, because I have been caught in this so many times, and I definitely like to time my work now and really stay on top of what I am charging them and how much it is worth. So that goes back to my point before, to communicate everything and make sure you're including that in your contract so that they're not like, what, now you're gonna charge me hourly? If you are communicative with them and tell them openly, like, I was charging you for only a 5 to 6 hour project, but now it's looking like this might be a 10-hour project, I will have to charge my hourly rate. But I will let you know if I go past 2 hours, 3 hours. You just need to communicate everything. And so yeah, that's what I would say on that. I prefer doing a fixed rate project because there may be times where it takes only a few hours, but then the revisions add on the hours to create the fixed priced rate. So I hope that makes sense, but that is something I really stress an importance on, is to make sure you're getting paid for your time, because your time is so important. Okay, so my fourth tip is to consider creating packages. I recently actually just redesigned my website, which I will leave down below, but I took into consideration what my clients were asking for, what they really needed, and I created a package. So I created a logo design branding package, and this basically includes not only the logo, but a mood board, the color palette, as well as a couple marketing collateral pieces. And I feel like when someone's coming to you for a logo, most of the time they will need a business card, or they will need a flyer or a brochure or something of some sorts to kind of get their brand out there. So I like to include that in my package now, and with that I was able to increase my logo package pricing, because now I'm including some marketing collateral pieces, color palettes, mood boards, font files, everything. So if you really list out everything you're providing, you can probably adjust your price to be a little bit higher, because in your head you might think, oh, it's just a logo, but you're providing a lot for them, honestly. So I would consider creating some packages and really take into consideration what your clients are asking for. But along with that, I also consider that I might have some clients that come to me that really want a logo from me, but might not have the biggest budget. And I like to work with a lot of small businesses. So I took that into consideration, and I actually shortened my branding package and made a package for people on a budget, basically. So you can literally create anything you want, as long as your clients are responding to it and you're selling it, then continue on with it. But I just recently created those new packages based off of what I was seeing and what I was hearing, and so far it's been very successful. So I highly recommend packages. And also, I feel like I'm rambling, but I have so much to share on this. But also along with that, I So my branding package is a little bit more expensive, and my branding and web package is definitely for those who can afford it. But I do always give my clients the option of a payment plan, and I think that this has helped me sell my packages so much more, because if they seem a little bit hesitant on the price, I really express to them what they're investing in, what they're going to receive. But I also throw in the option of having a payment plan. So if you want to split it up into 3 payments, we can do that. If you want 4 payments, we can do that. But if you are going to do that, I definitely think you need to have a project management system. I use Dubsado, but with that system, you can set up a payment schedule so that it reminds them when their next payment is due, because you don't want to spend your time chasing them down to finish their payments. So I offer that, but I always make sure that I have my payment schedule set up and that we stick with it. Okay, so my last tip is to not share your pricing until they share their interest. So this is something that I definitely go back and forth with. When I was redesigning my website, I wasn't sure if I wanted to include my pricing on my site or if I wanted it to be a conversation that happens after I know what they need. So I personally think that your pricing should be private to you until you talk to them. And the reason being for this is they might say they need something, but after you talk to them, you might realize, okay, maybe they don't need this whole thing. Maybe they just need a small portion of this package. So what I like to do is I actually included in my contact form a lot of the questions that I would ask them in our initial consultation. But I really want to get an idea of what they need exactly, and their timeline, and their overall budget, and things like that. So I don't tell anyone my pricing until I get some answers from them. And I also think that this helps weed out any of the people that aren't very interested in paying for quality work, because if they're putting a little bit of effort into showing you what they need, then they clearly care enough to pay and invest in what they're looking for. So I think that sometimes people might just want a quick and easy logo, which we all know is not quick and easy, and those aren't really the clients you want to work with. So I like to kind of make them put a little bit of work into figuring out what I'm going to charge them. So once they put a little bit of work into it, they most likely are going to work with you because they just put their time and effort into filling out your contact form or your questionnaire or whatever it is you're sending them. So I don't tell anyone my pricing up front. I make them fill out my questionnaire, I make them answer my questions, and then I tell them I will determine a proposal based on that. I do have like a standard pricing list. I only adjust it maybe $50 more, $50 less, depending on what exactly they need. But I definitely like to make them put a little bit of effort in before I share with them what I will charge. When people dedicate their time to you, it's showing that they care, and it's showing that they're willing to invest and work with you. So that is something I definitely recommend, and it has transformed my business like crazy. All right, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any more questions about this, please leave them down below, and I will answer them as best as I can. I hope this helped you guys, and I hope that your design business will take off because of these tips. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, I would appreciate it so much if you gave it a thumbs up, subscribe down below, and I will see you guys in my next video.